In the geopolitical theatre of Formula One, the most dangerous weapon isn't the engine or the wing, it's the fine print of a driver's contract. As we stand on the precipice of the 2026 technical reset, a cold war is brewing between Milton Keynes and Brackley, and the prize is the most dominant athlete of the generation. Max Verstappen has delivered an ultimatum that echoes far beyond the walls of the Red Bull garage. It is no longer a question of shared history or past championships, it is a clinical calculation of future performance. While the public remains focused on the Red Bull Ford launch, the inner circle is fixated on a performance clause that has turned Max into a strategic free agent. This isn't just a potential transfer, it's an insurance policy against the unknown engineering risks of a new era. Today, FormulaPerspective deconstructs the legal and technical triggers that could move the world champion into a silver arrow seat. We analyze the July deadline, the software anxiety, and why the grass in Brackley is starting to look greener for the Verstappen camp. This is the truth behind the 2026 ultimatum. The 2026 performance clause is built around a lethal metric known as the second-place trap. While most elite contracts require a top 5 standing, Verstappen's new ultimatum is reportedly anchored to a specific championship lead by July 31st. If the Red Bull Ford RB22 isn't leading both championships by the summer break, or if Max finds himself in a performance deficit larger than 25 points to the leader, the exit clause is triggered. This isn't about being competitive, it's about being the benchmark. Max understands that in the 2026 aero era, dirty air and energy management mean that being second is effectively being last in the race for the title. By locking this deadline into his agreement, Verstappen has created a fail-safe that prevents him from being trapped in a struggling project during his prime years. This July ultimatum puts immense pressure on Laurent Mekies's technical team, making the first 10 races of 2026 a fight for the team's very survival. For Max, the clause is clear: lead the pack, or watch me lead a different one. At the heart of Verstappen's anxiety is the technical divide between the Milton Keynes hardware and the Brackley legacy. While Ford is providing world-class software and battery cell expertise, the internal combustion engine, the V6 core, is a project where Red Bull powertrains has zero history compared to Mercedes' 20-year dominance. Verstappen is worried about the thermal gap. In 2026, the 350 kilowatt electrical surge is irrelevant if the IC cannot maintain thermal equilibrium over a full race distance. Leaked simulator data suggests that the Ford-backed unit might suffer from clipping earlier than the Mercedes power unit, leaving Max defenseless at the end of high-speed straights. The performance clause is a direct response to this engineering uncertainty. Max refuses to be a developmental guinea pig for an unproven hardware project. He knows that Toto Wolff is offering a power unit that has been refined through decades of championship-winning cycles. For Verstappen, software magic is a bonus, but thermal dominance is a requirement. If the V6 heart isn't beating at the same frequency as the silver arrows, the ultimatum will be delivered. Nothing happens in the Verstappen camp without a strategic purpose, and the December 24th announcement was the loudest signal yet. By partnering Verstappen Racing with Mercedes-AMG for the 2026 GT3 season, Max has effectively established a diplomatic mission in Brackley. This is a proxy war for loyalty. While technically a separate GT3 program, the deal allows for an unprecedented exchange of operational data and management culture between the Verstappen family and Mercedes top brass. Toto Wolff has bypassed the F1 negotiation table and moved directly into Max's private interests. This partnership ensures that if the July deadline is triggered, the cultural and commercial transition to Mercedes-Benz is already 50% complete. It is a brilliant move by Max's manager, Raymond Vermeulen, to desensitize the public and the Red Bull board to the sight of the Verstappen name alongside the three-pointed star. The GT3 deal isn't just about racing on weekends, it's about making the 2027 move to Mercedes feel like a natural homecoming rather than a betrayal. The performance clause isn't just triggered by race results, it is also sensitive to technical legality. The current paddock storm regarding the 18-form thermal loophole is the ticking time bomb that could invalidate Max's contract overnight. Rumors suggest that Red Bull Ford's current 15 HP advantage relies on a specific material expansion trick that allows them to push past the legal compression limits. Verstappen is acutely aware that if the FIA bans this solution during the Bahrain technical inspection, Red Bull could face a catastrophic power deficit. His ultimatum reportedly contains a competitive legality subclause. If the car is slowed down by a mid-season technical directive, he is free to walk. Max refuses to be the victim of another technical scandal or a regulatory penalty that ruins his championship hopes. He has told the team that he will provide the speed, provided they provide a car that doesn't rely on fragile engineering loopholes. This technical instability has turned the 2026 season into a legal minefield where one FIA document could shatter the Red Bull Verstappen dynasty forever. In the digital world of 2026, the human element remains the ultimate differentiator, and for Max, that element is Gianpiero Lambiase. The performance clause is intrinsically linked to the personnel surrounding the cockpit, with GP receiving blank check offers from Lawrence Stroll and Toto Wolff to lead their respective technical operations. Verstappen's ultimatum has grown to include an institutional continuity clause. Max understands that a Mercedes engine is only as good as the race engineer who knows how to optimize it under pressure. If the brain trust in Milton Keynes, the people who speak Verstappen fluently, is dismantled, the incentive to stay vanishes. Red Bull isn't just fighting a war against Ferrari's steelheads or Mercedes' thermal efficiency, they are fighting a war against the exodus of their intellectual property. Verstappen has warned the board that if GP follows Newey out of the door, no amount of Ford money can keep him in the seat. For Max, loyalty is a two-way street that must be paved with the people he trusts to win. If the human anchor is lost, the silver arrow beckons. While the Red Bull camp is in a state of frantic development, Mercedes is executing a masterful pincer movement on the F1 driver market. Toto Wolff has strategically delayed the long-term confirmation of his 2027 lineup, keeping a vacancy that matches exactly with Verstappen's July deadline. This is the Mercedes ploy. By proving that the Mercedes power unit is the most stable and reliable platform for the new era, Wolff is making the choice for Max as easy as possible. He isn't just offering a seat, he is offering a sanctuary from the chaos of the RBPT Ford transition. Mercedes' simulation cycles are reportedly focused on race trim dominance, ensuring that even if they aren't the fastest in qualifying, they will be the most efficient on Sunday. This efficiency-first approach is designed specifically to attract a driver who values reliability over risky headlines. In the grand strategy of 2026, Toto Wolff isn't just a team principal, he is the architect of a new order, waiting for the world champion to realize that the Red Bull era was a chapter, but the Mercedes era is the conclusion. Ultimately, Verstappen's Mercedes ultimatum is a reflection of a champion who refuses to be tethered to a sinking ship, regardless of the brand name on the hull. He is a predator of performance, and the 2026 clause is his way of ensuring he remains at the top of the food chain. As the engines fire up for the first time this season, the eyes of the world will be on the lap times, but the eyes of the insiders will be on the contract clock. Will Red Bull Ford deliver the miracle required to keep their icon, or will the performance clause become the exit ticket that shatters the record books? The technical war is over, the legal war is starting, and the psychological war is just beginning. One thing is certain, Max Verstappen will not settle for second place, in the standings or in the garage. Let us know in the comments, is Max already a Mercedes driver in his mind? This is Formula Perspective, and the grid is shifting faster than ever. Subscribe to stay ahead of the technical curve. We'll see you in the next deep dive analysis.